Here's an old exam question about electrodynamics. You should pause the movie, download the question from the link below, try it yourself, and then resume. And don't forget while you're at it to like and to subscribe, and sometime go and visit my website www.learnscience.co.za. There you can find a lot of resources easily categorized so that you can find what you need. Now we're told that we have a 200 ohm resistor. When it's placed in a circuit with a DC power source, it dissipates 500 joules in 10 seconds. We then replace the DC power source with an alternating current AC power source, and we get the same power dissipation, the same rate at which energy is dissipated. And we're asked, first of all, to define what root mean square voltage is, and then to find out what the maximum root mean square voltage of this alternating source is. So let's first just understand what's going on here regarding the dissipation of energy per time. We know that power is the rate at which energy is dissipated. Energy is measured in joules, time in seconds, so we're going to be able to calculate the power dissipated here. Now, because this is an alternating current, the power that we will calculate in this way will be the average power dissipated. Why average? Because with alternating current, the potential difference and the current strength, and therefore also the power dissipated, changes, alters over time to a peak, to zero, to another peak, to zero, and the values in between the peaks and the zeros. And so what we calculate there is an average of all of these variations over time. So we can straight away just do that calculation because we know we are going to need that. Average power, don't forget to give this subscript over there, is equal to the energy dissipated per period of time. And it's 500 joules in 10 seconds, which gives us an average power of 50 watts. Watts also means joules per second. That average power is related to the root mean square of the voltage of that source and the resistance of this resistor. How is that relationship? Average power is equal to the square of the root mean square of the voltage over the resistance. And we are trying to find out what this value is, because from it we can then calculate the maximum root mean square voltage. We know power average, 50 watts. We're trying to find this value. Don't forget to write the root mean square. We know resistance, it's 200 ohms. Multiply both sides by 200. We have 50 multiplied by 200, which is 10,000, is equal to the root mean square voltage squared. We want just the root mean squared voltage, so we square root both sides. On our calculator, square root of 10,000 is equal to 100. We didn't really need our calculator for that because obviously 100 times 100 gives 10,000. So the square root of 10,000 is 100. So 100 volts is the root mean square voltage. What is root mean square voltage? The alternating current voltage, which gives the same energy dissipation as a direct current voltage. You get variations in voltage, as I explained before, with alternating current. And in simple languages, the root mean square is kind of like the average of all the variations of voltage that you get over time within this alternating current source. But it's not an average as in the simple sense of average, meaning the maximum divided by 2, we could say, but rather the maximum divided by the square root of 2, because we get a sine wave. So it's not a simple average, if I can put it like that. And that takes us to the next equation that's relevant here. We know that the V root mean square, which is this, kind of average thing of alternating current, is equal to the maximum of the voltage of the alternating current source, divided not by 2, because it's not a simple average, but rather by the square root of 2. And we can then substitute our values in to solve for Vmax, which is what they're asking in this question, we know that this value is 100 volts. We're trying to find this. And of course, we have square root of 2. So to solve for that, we multiply both sides by square root of 2, and then we have our answer. So what indeed is 100 multiplied by square root of 2? We take out our calculator. 100 multiplied by square root of 2 is equal to 141,42 volts. And that's the answer. And before we go, have you already liked? Have you subscribed? Have you left me a comment? And please go and visit my website. You'll find a lot of resources there, and they're categorized in a way that will make it very easy for you to find what you need. Until we meet again, learn science!